What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Brendan. I'm BMNX45, and we're coming at you with another video. We have our battle report update for the Digimon TCG. We were just in Top Cut's Ultimate Cup just the other day here. We piloted Jessmon to a record of 2 wins, 1 tie, and 3 losses. Unfortunately, we did 25th place overall. So, it wasn't the best day, unfortunately, but, we did as good as we could have done. Jessmon is a deck I've loved for a long time. Played it at regionals back when the starter deck came out, and I was hoping that I would be able to do some really good wins with it. And a lot of the time, it was really good. I was just missing 1 card. A lot of the games I lost, 1 card difference would have meant I OTK'd before my opponent could come back at me. And there were some misplays that I did make myself. Of course, I didn't have as much time to test and practice BT23 because of all the delays that we had. So that was unfortunate as well. The tournament came up really fast and just didn't get that testing time really to test a lot of decks to see what I really wanted to play. But this is something I knew that I could play very well, and I think I did pretty good with it. So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about the matchups. We're going to talk about the deck and how we liked it and what any changes we would make. Hey, if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to smash that like button, comment down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss a single minute of the fun. Alright, so starting with the deck here, for Gurimon, the draw egg, you gotta remember to draw when attacking. I did forget a couple times yesterday. Could have been to my detriment. Not terrible, like I don't think I forgot at any time where I was in like a bad spot. Usually it was when I was a good spot that I forgot, but we also had the 4 of the new Huckmon. You gotta have it because it gets you 2 pieces, because it can get you a Sistermon, Huckmon, and a Royal Knight, and it can add Omnimon X-Antibody, which is really cool. So you gotta play 4 of that. And then there's the Huckmon, the start of main Huckmon that gets you a memory and draws you one. That can be very good. I mean, a lot of the times this is the one you want in the back, which is funny because you also want it to search you stuff. But this one can be very good too. So you gotta run 4 of that as well. One of the old Searcher Huckmon, it's because he doesn't have an inheritable, but he does do top 5, so he can dig extra big for you and get you 2 pieces, which is really important. So having 1 of him is nice. We just don't have as much room because we need room for Sistermons. Playing 1 Sistermon Blanc, the trash 1 draw 2 as a draw engine, as well as some decoy blocker. It's nice to have an extra copy of Blanc and it does something else. I don't play any of the old draw 1 Blanc. Sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I had some draw power, but this is just better. Decoy is just better, and the ability to trash 1, draw 2 is just better. And we played 2 of the new Sistermon Blanc that lets you have recovery. You add the top card of your security hand, then you recover 1, but then when she suspends, you can digivolve into a like a Jessmon, Royal Knight, CS trait Digimon in your hand, or trash, which is really cool because you can digivolve from the trash. If you had to put 1 of your pieces in the trash, you can really play around with that. In the level 4s, we're playing 4 of the Bao Huckmon from BT13. His inheritable gives you memory when you play a Sistermon. Unlike this guy who gives you memory when you gain a white Digimon, I kind of feel like we need an update for this guy. But the inheritable is still good because you usually play a Sistermon, but if you have to play the token, you don't gain memory off this guy. So you got to be careful about what exactly your game plan is, what you have on the field already, what you have in your trash or your hand. Got to be smart about that. His ability, your turn ability to digivolve into a savior for reduced cost 2 when you play a Sistermon is good too, but you really got to have a free play Sistermon to make it worthwhile. I used this maybe once yesterday. It's not as prevalent of an ability. You're mostly playing him in the stack for his inheritable. This guy right here that we played 2 of is way better for playing the Sistermon because you reduce that cost by 2. And then if you have an inheritable like this, you basically play this Sistermon for free or this Sistermon for 1. So this is really good, being able to play a Sistermon during your main phase. And then you get a plus 1000 inheritable, which the plus 1000 inheritables don't really add up to much in this deck because it's only on your turn. I mean, if they were on all turns, I would say they were better, but because they're only on your turn, and because you have Alliance and you're gaining so much DP, that extra 1,000 really never comes up, which is unfortunate. And then you also have your Sistermon CLs, your old draw. Sorry, this is the wrong CL actually. I don't know. This is not the one we have. We have the other CL in the deck. Here, let's fix that. I don't know why that was the way it was. I'm not in edit mode. But so the one we have is the BT7 one, which is the memory gain CL when it's played, the original, and the one that gives you plus 2,000 all turns. We have the Sistermon CL, the new one, that has blocker, and it pops a 4 cost or less, so it gets rid of floodgates when it hits the field. And when it suspends, it gets de-digivolve, which is huge. This is an MVP right here. Puts in a lot of work with people's decks because it downgrades a lot of their monsters. De-digivolve is one of the best keywords in the game, and it gets around so many things. So having de-digivolve in this deck is super good. And then the last one we play is CL Awakened, which is also really good because it stuns cards, stops them from suspending till the end of your opponent's turn, which can be huge as well. And then if she's the top stack card on a Sistermon, it goes to the top of your security stack, and then it adds to your security, which is nuts as well. So she's really good as well. And so we play 2 copies of each, and just kind of rounds out. You get playing like 9 Sistermons, which is actually really good. Next one, Savior Huckmon, the BT21. He is just so good. Being able to suspend another Digimon on board and then Digivolve at the end of your turn. Digivolve into Jesmon for free, which can then attack because it play a bunch of cards. You might be able to, if you play your cards right and you do the combo right, you might be able to even maintain turn because you play a Sistermon off Jesmon and then gain a memory. So if you're really, really smart about it, you can make it work really well. And then, of course, we play 2 of the old Jesmon. This one is what you can get you the OTK because you can Alliance check 2 cards, Alliance check 2 cards. So you can check 4 checks, especially if you've checked one already with a Huckmon that you played for searching on a prior turn. And then you can OTK really quickly, or you can, if you play enough Sistermon CLs, you can go Chimeramon. That'll get you 1 more check, and then all you have to have is the Omnimon X-Antibody for game, basically. So there's definitely, that's why we play this, because you play a lot of level 4s. Sometimes if you are stuck and you can't get your level 5, and you can play a Sistermon. Say you have this guy here, and you can play this for 2 onto your field and maybe gain a memory, make it play for 1. You can DNA into this to go to your level 5 and then Digivolve to Jesmon, which could be really, really good. You don't get your Alliance inheritable or your unsuspended inheritable unless you have one of these in the trash, and then you can tuck it and you still have that same inheritable, which is really good. Of course, you play 4 of the new Jesmon, just being able to have Rush, Alliance, and then playing out your token or your Sistermons whenever you Digivolve or when attacking is so good. And it's not once per turn, so if you continue to be able to you can attack unsuspend with the old Savior Huck, and then if you did something like DNA'd your level 4s into Chimeramon, you could then attack again and you could summon another monster. It just makes me wish tokens had levels, because that would be so cool if tokens had levels, but they don't. Probably a good thing. And then you have Jesmon X-Antibody, 2 of them. I feel like you need this card sometimes, because if you want to be able to pierce over and get something off the board, do your checks anyways, it's important. But the problem is with the Alliance keywords, you always want to attack first. And once you've attacked, unless your opponent has a suspended Digimon, even if you say you Alliance the Sistermon Blanc, which allows you to Digivolve into this in the hand or trash for basically free, because it's already free, you can't reduce the cost. You don't get to redirect your attack Like the only thing this guy's missing is like the raid keyword. Because if you could raid and switch your attack going into him, this would be a little bit more powerful. But you got to have an opponent's Digimon that's already suspended, or you got to have Digivolve into him before you attack, and then you lose his ability, his when attacking ability, and his alliance ability that you could use ahead of time and get more checks. So that's unfortunate. Of course, Omnimon X-Antibody, we opted out of playing a Jesmon GX Ace to play 2 of this to make sure we have consistency on the OTK. I would say it's a good move. There weren't many times where Ace would have made a difference. Like, there's not many times that if my opponent attacked where like they didn't clear my board during that attack before we got to blocker timing. So that's unfortunate. And then, of course, you have to play 4 Master to Disciple. It's the best search card you have in the deck. It's really good off security. It's really good off of everything. Crimson Blade is also really good, too. I never got it off security. It never got hit off security, so that was lovely. In fact, a lot of the times I got it in my hand when I didn't need it. On decks I didn't need it, but you need to play the Crimson Blaze because it's just too good. Red Scramble was clutch too, although a lot of times it was going to the trash because I was revealing it off of Master to Disciple, but the Red Scramble was really nice. And then the Sistermon Training Gym as well, being able to play a Sistermon. It's a good security bomb, as well as being able to play a Sistermon draw 1. I don't feel like the draw 1 does enough for the 2 cost. Like, I wish it was like a 1 cost, but that's never going to happen. But I just wish it did a little bit more for the first ability. I'm, of course, then being able to Digivolve into Jesmon or Huckmon and play a free Sistermon is really, really good. I feel like I might cut this to 2 just because it just sat in my hand dead a lot of times. Whereas, like, if I had something like a red Mem Boost, I'd have just guaranteed searching with red memory boost or with, and I don't play tamers, so I don't have to care about that kind of stuff. It's just putting options on the bottom of the deck, which, I mean, you only have this many options anyways, so I don't know. I feel like, of course, it would put all your white Digimon on the bottom of the deck, so that's kind of sad too. I feel like probably Mem Boost would be the safer one because drawing 2 cards with training is more dangerous because you have less chance of hitting a red Digimon, which is unfortunate. I like this because it puts stuff in the trash. Maybe you play an Analog Youth. That'd be kind of funny. That'd probably be actually pretty good playing an Analog Youth. But that's the deck, guys. That's what we decided to run. Had pretty decent matchups. Like I said, if we get into the matchups here, my first matchup was against none other than Kiki Martin Lee from the Brick City Discord, so give a shout out to him. He is a really good player. He's topped Ultimate Cups and Regionals, won them. In fact, really great guy, really great games. Was really excited to play him finally. I've been buying cards off of him for a long time and getting advice off of him for a long time. And so it was really kind of cool. So shout out to him. Shout out to the Brick City Discord. He did pretty well too. I think he just lost 1. So I think he came in like 4th. In our pod, so really great games, and he was piloting Imperial, and both games were really good because both games came down to 1 card. If I had 1 card in both games that we played, I would have OTK'd before he got a chance to do anything. Like the first game, all I needed was a Sistermon. If I had been able to play an extra Sistermon CL off of my abilities, I would have been able to OTK. Maintain turn, OTK, and just finish out the game. Would have been really great. So unfortunately, that didn't happen, and then I got killed by him, and then couldn't come back from that. Just the lack of Sistermons in your hand, and when you play 9, you're hoping you get some. And then the second game was kind of the same thing. It was just like 1 card short. I think my level 5, I bricked a little bit. Couldn't get my level 5 or my level 4. And, I had all the other cards in hand to make the perfect run. And then basically had to let him basically make his run at it with Imperial, which you know what happens then. Game 2, I tied 1-1 against armor. No game 3. We didn't even start game 3. Player played a little bit slow. Kind of overthought things. I had to kind of rush him, or else I wouldn't have even won game 2, because he was kind of like, he had nothing. He had nothing he could do, and I had a board, and all I had to do was have one more attack, and I basically just like, hey, drag this next 3 minutes out, or are you gonna, let me have my turn and stuff like that. So he just finally conceded, and we got a tie for game 2. Game 3, I got a 1-2 against Virus Imperial. Bricked hard. No Jessmon in round 3. Tried to dig. Didn't get a single Jessmon. So that really screwed me up. I had everything else. In game 3 was just unfortunate. I was surprised that I actually won game 2. So that was kind of unfortunate as well. Game 4, I went against Fable Waltz. I went 2-0. I just was able to stop everything that they did. Being able to de-digivolve the Kaguya consistently both games really helped me. So no matter what they did, they didn't have enough steam or enough memory to do what they needed to do, and I just basically just kept de-digivolving them. Even if I have to just attack with the CL to de-digivolve first and then do something with my bigger monsters. So it was actually pretty good. So I really did like that. And then game 5, I went 2-0 against Hoodie. I did not expect that. I saw Hoodie and I was like, oh, I'm good. I have to pick up my cards. But I really thought about it, and I played out of every situation and just managed to OT, just go for game both times. Just be aggressive as I possibly can, which really was what helped, is just being super aggressive when you need to be against certain decks. And Hoodie was one of them. Imperial definitely was one that I needed to be aggressive against. And like I said, unfortunately, I just missed a couple cards along the way. And then, so those are my 2 wins basically. And then Virus Imperial it was definitely a hard matchup. But he just drew what he needed to go off. The last game there, it was a difference of, the not having the Jessmon really hurt, because he had a suboptimal stack that if I could have got off the board, it would have just made all the difference. It would have just made all the difference if I could have got that stack off the board. But unfortunately, couldn't do that. And then last game, I faced Royal Knights. And as soon as I saw the Drazel flip, I was like, I am in a hard spot. This is going to be a really hard matchup. I managed to win one game. I managed to win the second game. I did not think I was going to win. I fought really hard, but I really had not the greatest hands game 1. And game 3, I actually had a good hand, but I misplayed hard. I thought I had the BT20 Savior Huck in my hand. I think I was mixing him up with the Bow Huck, and I actually threw out a Savior Huck for this guy's start of main ability, and that just screwed me, because then I had to get back to a way that I could get Digivolve into him, which was either draw into another one or have this on the board to do the ability. Well, actually, that doesn't even work, because this only lets you go into a Jessmon or a Royal Knight trait. So you have to go from your level. It has to go from your level 5, I think. Might be. I don't think it says Huckmon. So when this Digimon suspends one of your other Digimon, may digivolve into a Digimon card with Huckmon in its name. Okay, so Huckmon in its name or Royal Knight in its trait. So so you can digivolve. Sorry, that's right. You can digivolve into your lower level guys. For some reason, I thought I was reading it wrong. But so you can. So I would have had to have that on board, or I would have had to draw into another Savior Huckmon, which I did, but it took like an extra turn, and it gave my opponent the advantage really to pop my Bow Huckmon, my first Bow Huckmon that I put on the board, put more pressure on me, and then it's just crazy how easy it is to do the Omnimon play now. Like, it's just so easy. Like, you only have to have as soon as your opponent gives you any memory, and then you can gain memory with the cool boys, you don't even need 4 memory to go into him half the time. It's just nuts. So yeah, so basically when I finally did get going and I was in a good position, I basically just attacked, and then he went to 1 security. He had already had an Omeka in the back, and that was because, you know, he set that up because of my misplay. And then as soon as he went to 1, he wipes my entire board like nothing, and then goes into his turn and just Omnimon, you know, rush Omnimon, summons all his guys, and attacks for game. And my deck really can't do anything against that because I don't have anything that's going to stop, you know, unless like there's some kind of memory gain. But even then, I think he had Oryukin, so he went back to 3 memory. As soon as he checked my first security card, like back when he was at 0, I would have had to like have her, the memory gain one, in the trash, and then he would have had to hit one of these, which didn't happen. Crimson Blade wouldn't have done anything, unfortunately. Like that's the thing; it wouldn't have done anything. Like if I could have played Crimson Blaze, you know, at the end of a turn to stop him from being able to summon out the guy, that would have been great. But that's not what happened either. So unfortunately, it wasn't, you know, I didn't have enough steam. I didn't have enough power in order to finish off the game. And he just had everything he needed to wipe me out. So it was unfortunate. Royal Knights is a hard matchup for this, and I just don't know how to go against that really. You gotta again. The solution is OTK as fast as humanly possible before they're able to set stuff up like the Omekamon. So that's kind of like, yeah, that's right. But yeah, that's the deck. That's the matchups. Like I said, 25th place. If I had won that last matchup, I would have been the guy I faced came in 14th place. So I would have been able to top 16 and get an Arrestor Tramon, which was my goal, was to get a Gum and an Arrestor because I want to collect play sets of them. And I had already bought a half play set from, you know, other people because there's only 2 Ultimate Cups. So that was unfortunate that happened that way because I was pretty close. You only need 3 wins and like a tie in order to top 16 these 64 pod Ultimate Cups. So yeah, that was kind of unfortunate that I wasn't able to make that cut. And of course, like it had to be a hard matchup. Like I had pretty hard matchups all day. And that, yeah, it just goes to show you there's this deck actually, it's really good, but it does have a lot of trouble with a lot of different things. And we're in such a diverse format right now that I just feel like there's so much things running around that you really have to be careful about what you play. We'll see what we play at the December Ultimate Cup. Maybe we'll play this. We're probably going to still deck profile this for you guys. Maybe not right away. We'll maybe leave it till later in case we make any changes. But as of right now, this is our battle report update. This is how the tournament went. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Tell me what you think. Should have I made other decisions? Should have we had a different, you know, ratio? Should we had different stuff? Should I have played the Jesmon GX instead of been aggressive with the Omnimon X-Antibody? What do you guys think about this build? And let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. Looks like that's all the time we have for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we hope to see you in the next video. As always, have a wonderful day, and that is all for now, folks.